Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike, welcome to Floating in Dreams, which is my hobby YouTube channel where I like to chat about all things fashion and makeup. And every month on the first Tuesday of the month I like to come on here and film a Shop My Stash for you, go through my everyday makeup drawer and give you an update on the products I was using in the previous month, and then also take you into my drawers where I keep the rest of my makeup to select some more products for the new month ahead. So this is my August Shop My Stash. I'm going to talk you through what I was using in July. I have a bit of a surprise for you because I accidentally hit pan on something that I wasn't trying to use up or hit pan on actually. Like it was like very sort of within the moment. And also because this month I am going to be focusing on all eyeshadow palette content, both here on my YouTube channel as well as on my blog. So in case you like a good eyeshadow palette review, I definitely recommend also checking out my blog because there will be 3 eyeshadow palette reviews going live on there every single week until the end of the month. But yeah, that means that I don't have a lot of space to review any products this month. So I'm actually only going to be pulling in like 1 or maybe 2 new things. And everything else that I'm going to be selecting this round is going to be tried and true. And the aim for August is to try to either hit pan on things or to use things up. So that's going to be the plan for this one. I hope you like that plan, so stay tuned for the rest of the video. And then let's just get cracking. So maybe some of these products you will have seen me do videos with as well, because I always like to film at least a get ready with me towards the end of the month with the products that were in my Shop My Stash. So especially if you see me selecting any products today that you would like me to feature in my get ready with me towards the end of the month, then definitely let me know, because then I can make sure to focus on that. But in that get ready with me that I did this time, of course, you saw me use the Milani Glow Hydrating Skin Tint, and I also reviewed this product over up on my blog, so you can see a full review with before and after pictures and all that over there. And I quite enjoyed this. It's in the shade 110, Fair to Light, which is a hair too peachy tone for me. I would have liked this more if it was more pink toned. So the shade isn't perfect for me, but I could make it work. It's fine. It's very glowy, very hydrating, really comfortable and nice on the skin. I really enjoyed the quality of the product, that's for sure. But I am going to be selecting something else because in case you've watched some of my other videos, then you know I have about 10 new-ish foundations that I would still like to try. So one of the new products I'm going to be selecting is another skin tint to be reviewing this month for sure. I do have some space for reviews before my next Shop My Stash actually needs to go live, so that's why I can make that work. What I'm going to keep in here, it's not in the drawer because I keep it upright to also be able to show you how much I have left, but my Decay Naked Skin foundation. I'm trying to use this up, and I have been for the past 2 months. It's just that by the time I had tried the Milani foundation enough to review it, and I was going back to this guy, I threw my back out and I didn't really feel like putting on lots of makeup. So I haven't been using this as much as previous months. So this month I definitely want to focus on this to make sure I use it up. And just in case I use it up before the month is out, I will also be selecting another older foundation that I could potentially use up. And then also a new one. But yeah, this is going to stay. It's in the shade 1.5. You can no longer buy this. It's one of my favorite foundations though, but I just want to get the use out of it before it expires. So that's why that is in the use up pile. And then for concealer, I also had something new in here and something I wanted to use up. Both of them are by Catrice. The Clean ID High Cover Concealer was one I wanted to try this month and definitely review it for you, again, over on my blog. That's where you can check that review out in more detail if you'd like. This was nice enough. It's just, again, a little bit too dark for me, so the shade isn't perfect. It only comes in 3 shades. Catrice, what's going on? And it's a little too full coverage for my taste. So it's not my favorite, but it's a good enough concealer for sure. But that's going to go back. And I'm going to keep this one in, actually. The Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer from Catrice in the shade Natural Rose 007. This guy I've loved for years, and actually, to my surprise, there's a lot less product in here than I remembered, because as you can see, there's actually a lot of the product already like rubbed off the sides, and that usually starts to happen if you're like somewhere at the bottom of a concealer tube. So again, I predict this is one I can use up quickly. And I will be selecting another old favorite concealer of mine to put in my August Shop My Stash, just so that I have something on hand for when this one runs out, because there is another concealer that I really want to use up this year. This was one of them, and then I'm going to be selecting the other one at the same time. I do have to say, I still really like this. I still like the texture. I'm just not a fan of the scent. This has this very sort of powder room baby kind of scent. Can't describe it in any other way. So don't love the scent, so I don't think I'll buy a new one of this, even though I do really like the formula. To round out the complexion products, I am going to be discontinuing using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade Fair, because this is what it looks like. I can still get some product out, but just not a whole lot, and I know that people are going to yell at me and say, that's an expensive powder, you can repress that. I have found with repressing some face powders in the past, I've tried to do that, that the texture will change. And one of the things I love about this powder is the texture and the way it applies. So even though I could get more use out of it, I probably won't like the product as much anymore, meaning I will not be using it anyways. So I'm not going to be repressing this. So this is a use up product. So we're going to select a new powder. And I have to select a new primer because I used up my MAC Strobe Cream in the shade Pink Light. This was really lovely, actually. I am thinking of maybe possibly at some point buying a full size of this, because this was very, very nice. It's a very lotiony kind of moisturizer-like primer, and those have been my favorite also from Essence. But this has just a really pretty glow to it, and I really liked it as a lightweight base underneath makeup. So I may want to purchase a full size, but I still have another baby size of this, so I don't need to buy that anytime soon, and I would like to try something else. For the rest of the complexion, I was using this Clean ID bronzer from Catrice exclusively. For some reason, I can no longer find this exact bronzer anywhere anymore. This was a limited edition collection at the start of May, and even on the Catrice website, they no longer list these products, so it's like Catrice is in denial that this ever happened, but I have the product, and it's really lovely. I'm not sure if you can still see the design, but it had a really lovely embossing. It's very reminiscent of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer, I have to say. Milani Sunlit bronzer is very similar to that as well. The Kiko Fusion bronzer is similar to that as well, and those are some of my favorites. So this is a really good, affordable bronzer. It's just, where are you going to buy it? But yeah, I did review it. It was a lovely bronzer. It's really great for fair skin. But we're selecting something else. Highlighter then. I had a lot of fun with these two K-Beauty products. I didn't end up reviewing them just yet because I just, again, skipped a few days reviewing stuff on my blog as well. So this is the Juicy Pang highlighter. Jelly Beam highlighter in number 1. I believe the shade is called Beam. It's by the brand Apio, but if you just look for Juicy Pang Jelly Beam highlighter, I'm sure you can find it. And this, I'm not sure if you can see, but it's got a really pretty duochrome to it. It is that peachy, pinky sort of duochrome that I love in a highlighter. It's got a cream to powder kind of finish, but it does pick up with a brush, so it's very easy to use. A little goes a long way with this, so I was really happy with that. And then the unexpected favorite of the two is actually from the same. This is their Prism highlighter. It looks a bit like a pebble, which I like. And then it has this shade. This is also shade 1. And as you can see in this light, it looks pink. And then it's got a really pretty golden sheen to it. And when I first tried this, I thought maybe this is going to be a blush topper for me because it's got so much pink. But I've actually found that this works really well on my complexion as a highlighter. So this was my favorite of the two. I definitely wore this most. And the blush I paired it with was this old favorite from H&M in the shade Cantaloupe. So H&M Beauty does some gorgeous, gorgeous blushes. I actually think that before the end of the year, I may want to do a full face of H&M because I don't hear people talking a lot about their products, and I really like some of their lipsticks and Also one of their bronzers I used to love. I decluttered that though, but I found out they still do some of those OG products that I tried from when the brand first launched at H&M. So all I need really to try is a foundation and a concealer. And then I could do a full face of H&M, I'm sure. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because I love these blushes. And Cantaloupe is that like barely there, melony, peachy kind of shade. And it worked really well with the two highlighters I had selected. I also went in with my Hourglass Diffused Heat a few times. This is one of my favorite blushes for the summertime. It has quite a lot of the diffused shade and not so much of the heat shade, but on my fair skin, that makes it really nice and manageable. Apparently this does change though. As the pattern wears down, you seem to get less of the color. That's what I've heard people say. So mine, however, is still going strong. I still like it. And then I've got two Benefit products in here. Coralista, I did use it a couple of times and it was like, oh yeah, that's why I like you. I hit pan on this, I think 2 years ago or so, and the pan has only been expanding ever since. You know what? I may actually want to keep this in here for summer because it's one of my favorite summer shades. So we'll keep that in, but I am rolling out the What's Up highlighter from Benefit. Another summer favorite. It looks a bit gross, but it's a really pretty cream. And I just have it in a mini because I would never use up a product like this. I am going to be taking out the Maybelline mascara. I actually have another mascara to select this round. The Sky High, which I think it went like viral on TikTok. I understand why people like this because it's very lengthening, but I prefer a volumizing mascara, so this wasn't my favorite. And I just feel like selecting something else. I've had my use out of that. And then for brows, I actually was using these three products. So the Revolution Soap Brows, this is going to go back into the drawer. It's just gotten a little bit messy from using this. And this is why I don't really love the product. Like the mirror is all gross and whatnot. So it was good. It was a good product to use. I did enjoy it. It's just a bit messy and it takes a bit more brain space than my usual combo, which is something like this. So this is going to stay. The Catrice Fill and Wax, Wax and Fill brow pencil has been really lovely. And I have about 5 of these in backup. So the Essence Make Me Brow has been put in here for those days where I didn't want to faff around with soap brows. And this I have in here for when this one isn't right, because I was afraid that this wasn't going to work for me. So I already selected the Essence one, so that's been living in here for a while now, but oh well. The Clean ID setting spray from Catrice I think is one that I can use up quite soon. If I do my makeup, like if I really committed to doing my makeup every single day this month, I think I can use up the 2/3 that I still have left. Lip balm is still going strong. Eye primer, which is the Prime and Lock from Makeup Revolution, is still going strong. I think I may need to replace my glitter glue though. This is feeling a bit old, so I may have to buy a new one. And then, just to give you an update, my paint pot, it's running very low. Very, very low. And then this eyeshadow as well, that I used to set it with. It's really on its last legs, but I think I can, like, it's going to take a while for these to be fully gone, and these are products I also want to use up, so those are going to fit the theme quite nicely. Alright, so that was everything in terms of face that I was using, but of course I use lipsticks and eyeshadow palettes as well, and those things I don't tend to select in advance, but I sort of tend to select them as the month was going on. I didn't wear as many eyeshadow palettes as I had hoped. There's definitely a couple here that I'm still in the midst of trying, or that I still need to try before I can film all of my eyeshadow palette content. But for instance, something that I did use by now is the Catrice Clean ID Mineral Eyeshadow Palette. This was also part of that limited edition collection that I can no longer find. It's in the shade Natural Nude. It's a neutral eyeshadow palette. This is actually not going to go back into my drawer. It's going to go onto the palettes I need to declutter over time pile, because this was okay. I like to try Catrice eyeshadow palettes, and I really just bought it for the review, so this is not going to go anywhere into my makeup collection, sadly. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to know my thoughts on some of these palettes that I'm showing you right now, some of it I have already reviewed, and some of it is going to come up in September when I do my next palette review video. So I did already review the Michelou Cosmetics The Fawn palette. This is what it looks like. It's, if you like Nabla side by side, but you want something a little bit more unique and wearable, then this is a better option, I find. So that's why I do recommend this. This is a small UK indie brand, and this is a lovely, lovely palette. I really, really like the quality of this. So the review for this one is already up on my channel. And the same goes for the Waiting Room palette from Melt. This I bought when it launched for Christmas, like for their holiday limited edition. And I really do like it. It's just that I don't feel that the grays and the reds really go together. You really need to stick to the rose for this to work. And I definitely need to play around with this a little bit more. But yeah, it was lovely. But again, I did already review it in my 10 palette review video in July. And then like that Catrice palette, what is going to be part of my September review is my Odin's Eye, the Norns palette. You will have seen me playing around with this in my most recent Get Ready With Me, because this was the one I was in the midst of trying. I've now used every single shade in the palette, and it was surprisingly cool toned. Even these shades that look really warm toned, they pulled very cool toned on me. This turned into a gray, not a brown, and this is also turned very gray toned on me. And I think maybe I can show you this. This looks like an orange, right? But when I blended it, I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick this up, but when I blended it, it really got more of that like yellow tone. And then what I actually ended up doing was that I layered it over this guy, over this Realism shade. Do you just see that it's quite a cool tone brown? And then I really liked how those two shades sort of play together. So I'm not sure if I can like blend this on the back of my hand for you. But do you just see that those two play so prettily together? On my eyes, with my fair skin tone with a cooler undertone, all of these shades pulled very cool toned. So that may be good to know if you're also a lover of cool toned eyeshadows and you want something that's a bit more unique and it's not just a bunch of gray tones. And last but not least, I tried the Club Nebula, which is the Kaleidos and Angelica Nukvist collab that they did. If you want to know more of my thoughts, I'm actually going to be filming my complete Kaleidos eyeshadow palette collection video for you this month. Every month I like to come on here and talk about like a grouping per brand of eyeshadow palettes. And this month I'm going to be doing Kaleidos, and this palette was lovely. What else can I say? A bit more unique, but it's still very wearable. I think Angelica did a very good job curating this color story. Last but not least, in eyeshadow. Are you ready for my surprise pan? You will have seen this eyeshadow, which is ColourPop's Ritz. It's one of their Super Shocks, as something I've used for a while, and actually I was using it. Do you see that? I hit pan, and I was actually thinking almost of buying a backup of this because it started to feel dry, I thought. Turns out, it's not dry, it's just that far down towards the plastic that I could feel that, so it wasn't dry. It's still going strong. I love this shade. Let me, since we're on a swatching train here anyways. Let me show you what that looks like. It's this really pretty, like sheer, sparkly kind of shade. I love wearing this when I don't have much time to do my eyeshadow. Usually when I need to travel for work, I don't tend to like do a full eye look. I just whack this on and a bit of mascara and I'm good to go, and it looks really put together, and then I just throw on a red lip and I'm good to go. But I had a lot more fun with lip colors because the face mask requirement has been lifted a little bit over here, so that meant that I was feeling wearing reds. So are you ready for my lipstick selection? There's one brand that's very heavily represented, I'm not gonna lie, but let's start with some glosses first because I was wearing some glosses. Tower 28 lip gloss in coconut. I've used about half of it. I got it this year. So this one is going strong. Maybe this is one that I can also use up this year. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can go through the whole thing, but I'm definitely making an effort trying to get far down on this one. This has been my go-to gloss. If you live in Europe, ladies and gentlemen, we can now get Rare Beauty from French Sephora. They finally launched here. I placed an order for a few bits just to try them out, and I got this guy for free, which is a gloss in the shade Nearly Neutral, and I already wore it. It was pleasant. I'm not sure it's my favorite gloss formula though. And then finally, of course, I tried both of my new Lisa Eldridge glosses that I got when she restocked her line and released some new shades last May. So I have one in Muse and I have one in Songbird. And of the two, I prefer Songbird. I think actually, let me grab, yeah. I think I have a type. So I do really like this shade, and I also really like Muse. It's just that this one I just prefer a little bit better. It's a bit more wearable. So these are lovely. I don't love the applicator though. And then in terms of lipsticks, I also decided to grab for an OG favorite, Charlotte Tilbury's Red Carpet Red. Is there any more perfect red on the planet? Like if you're looking for a good classic red, this may possibly be it. So that's one of my favorites. However, I did use mainly Lisa Eldridge lipsticks again this month because those are some of my new in, and I wanted to try some other shades that I hadn't been wearing as much. And actually, I was really, really loving Velvet Morning, which is one of the shades that was already out but that I didn't own yet from the brand that I still wanted to try. So this is what Velvet Morning looks like. It is an orange toned red, and I wore it by itself, but I also decided to top it with this gloss from Juvia's Place, which is called Ruby Rose. And I really like that combo. Like, I've been saying for years how I don't like a glossy red lip, but there was something about those two shades together that really made me fall in love. So that was a really good combo. And then I think another red that I was wearing was the classic red that Lisa Eldridge has in their line, which was Velvet Ribbon. For me, the three classic reds that are now in my top three are Charlotte Tilbury's Red Carpet Red, Lisa Eldridge Velvet Ribbon, and MAC's Russian Red. Those are my three favorite reds of all time. And then I also used Kitten Mischief, which is from the Luxuriously Lucent eyeshadow palette. Luxuriously Lucent lipstick line from Lisa Eldridge. This is a more creamy formula. It has a buildable color, so you don't get full payoff straight away. And I wasn't sure about this because it looked quite peachy online, but it ends up being a perfect nude lipstick for me. Another shade that I've been wearing quite a bit is the shade Painterly, also from the Luxuriously Lucent line. This looks really deep and brown toned, but it's actually a great, more muted red shade. So on days where I wanted to wear something red, but I didn't want it to be too much like right in your face like those other shades, I was wearing this guy. And then finally, Velvet Beauty, which actually I wore in my makeup releases video that went live on Sunday, and I paired it with this gloss. I almost forgot about it, but this is Velvet Beauty, and it looks, it's described as a pink. I would say it's more of like a dusty rose, and it's got a bit of a purple to it, which means that it's one of like, it's like the right pink for me. Very often pinks can be a little bit strange on my complexion. Precisely because my lips have that purpley undertone, but this goes with it really, really well, and it looks very flattering on. And because I had such success topping my red lipstick with that Juvia's Place gloss, I decided to top that lipstick with this Zoeva gloss in the shade Dream With Me. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it has the prettiest iridescent sparkle, and it's a great, this is just a great topper shade that you can just throw over any sort of lipstick color, but I really felt it made the pink come alive a little bit more. And this Zoeva texture is a really, really great gloss formula. It's really lovely. Right, those are all the products that I had selected in August to play around with. In July, I should say, to play around with. So let's hop over to my drawers and select some products for August, shall we? Welcome to the face drawer. I promised you we would be selecting a new foundation to try, and that's actually going to be this one. This is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop skin tint, because I am doing a full face of Fenty this month, and I thought, well, why not do a double whammy and select it for my Shop My Stashes month to try it out and do the full face with. So that's going to be my new foundation to try. And the next foundation I want to select to attempt to use up once the Urban Decay one is gone is this one from The Ordinary. This is their Serum Foundation in the shade 1.1N. And this is about halfway gone, so I hope to be able to make this my third and final foundation that I use up this year, because I already used one up, and I like to use up like 3 or 4 foundations every year. And for concealer that I would like to use up once the Catrice one is gone, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. As you can see, there's still quite a bit left in this one. It's not as far gone as the other one, but hey, we can make an attempt. We can try. And then, of course, I stopped using my Charlotte Tilbury powder. That means we can select another powder. And I want to actually use up this Essence Skin Loving Sensitive Powder. I actually feel it's quite similar to this Charlotte Tilbury one. If you're looking for an affordable dupe, try this. And as you can see, I've got a huge dent in this. So in terms of being able to hit pan on something and using it up, I think this may be a good one to put in. So we've got, well, 2 concealers, a concealer to hopefully use up, 2 foundations to use up, a powder to hit pan in. Like, I think we're doing pretty good. And I have a bronzer that I want to attempt to hit pan on, which is this one. This is the Take Home the Bronze bronzer from The Balm in the shade Oliver. And this is one of my favorite bronzers. Now, I did a video all about my favorite bronzers for fair skin in July, and I didn't feature this one because it's no longer available. So I decided to not put it in there, but I do like it, and it actually has quite a big dent in it. So I want to see if I can try and hit pan on it this month if I use this exclusively as my bronzer. So I want to go back to this, see if I can hit pan, and maybe I should, and I already hit pan on a bronzer this year, I should say. So maybe I can make this my second one. Who knows? What else? Did I do it? Can I hit pan on my Kiko highlighter? Do you see how much of a dent I have in there? This is a subtle one though. But I do think that if I want to hit pan on this, I shouldn't select any other highlighters. I should just use this one. That is a condition. So I can't select any other highlighters, save for my Kiko one. I think I'm happy with that. I don't think I have any blushes I really want to hit pan on though. Let me see. So I am going to have fun with blush. Let's do that. Let's have some fun with blush. I already have the Benefit in there that I'm keeping in. So then maybe this Catrice one. This is their multicolor blush in Dolce Vita. So that may be fun. So I've got something peachy, something corally. That will be fun. And then we also have something drugstore in there again. What is another great? Oh, yes. Too Faced. How Deep Is Your Love, right? Yes, this is their Love Flush Blush in How Deep Is Your Love. This is a watermelon pink. It's great for the summer season. So I'm going to go back to that old favorite as well. So I've got 3 blushes, a highlighter, a bronzer, got loads of things that I could potentially use up. And I think what I still need is a primer from this drawer. So what primer do I want to use? So I still needed to select a primer, and the primer I'm going to go with is this one from Catrice. It's their Hydro Primer, and it's the replacement of actually this one. And I've been teasing that I'm going to do a comparison between the two, but I'm going to be quite fair with you. This is nothing like the other one. This has a much more silicone-y feel. I've used it a few times, but I didn't love it as much. But now I'm like, you know what? I just need to soldier on with it and just get the use out of it to really make up my mind and see how much I like or don't like it, and then I can still decide to do that video. Yeah, so maybe I end up liking it a lot. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll put this one in because I definitely need to just bite the bullet and get it over and done with. So there you have it. Those are all the products that I have selected to put in my Shop My Stash for the month of August. I selected the False Lash Wing Midnight Black of mascara from L'Oreal. This is one that I've had sitting as a backup in my drawer for a while. And I'll show you some of the eyeshadow palettes that I will definitely be using. In fact, by the time you're watching this, I will have already used one of these palettes, and I can review it already for you, but unfortunately there's always a bit of time between me filming something and it actually going live. The palette I will have used by the time you see this video is the Naked Wild West by Urban Decay. I will have done 2 or maybe even 3 looks by the time you see this. But yeah, this is a palette I bought when it launched in March and I haven't used it yet. So I'm sort of going through my eyeshadow palette haul, if you saw that, in order of, you know, how I got it. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Retro Paradise because I think it's a great palette for the summertime. And I have already sort of decided for myself that it's probably going to be great to do a look with this top row, a look with this side, and then a look with these colorful shades. So that's going to be a 3-look job. And then I also want to use these 2 palettes from Viseart that I got. This is the Petite Force. This is just going to be like a 1-look kind of thing. But yeah, this is a pretty cool tone palette, and I do want to use that. And then the Dark Edit. It's got gorgeous jewel tones, so I'm going to play around with that, do a few looks with that. And then there are 3 palettes that I need to already start using because I plan on doing videos with them as part of my eyeshadow palette extravaganza. So this is sort of like a sneak peek of what's to come. I definitely want to do a video all about my blue-green palettes, and I haven't tried my Whale Song from Menagerie yet. This is what the color story looks like. I now have 5 dedicated blue-green palettes, so I want to do a video featuring all 5 of them and sort of comparing and seeing which one is best according to me. So that's why I still need to try that. And another video I want to do is a review of all 5 of these Pro Slim eyeshadow palettes from Catrice. They now do a like rosy toned one, and there's like a very cool toned, fair toned one. There's one with some reds and grays. And then you have 2 warm toned ones, and of course those I didn't own yet. So this is the Neon Earth, which I believe launched together with the rosy toned one. And then they did the Peach Origin this spring. And I haven't played with either one of these yet. So I want to do a video where I review all 5 of these, sort of rank them for you, tell you which one I think is best. So I'm going to do video looks with all 3 of these palettes, so I can feature them in some of my upcoming videos for you. So that's what I have planned. That's definitely what I will use. And then of course I hope to pull in any other palettes that I haven't used yet, which is quite a few. And I have summer break, so I definitely hope to be able to do some more creative looks as well, because now I have the time. And it's not like we have a pretty terrible summer here. It's quite cool weather. So it does mean that it makes it easier to play around a bit more with makeup, I find. If it's really warm, I don't really care. But if it's like these kind of temperatures, I really do enjoy spending a bit more time on my makeup. So that's the plan. I'm going to be playing around with all of these things for you. So please stay tuned. As of my Thursday video, everything that's going to go live, save for my Get Ready With Me and my full face of Fenty Beauty, everything is going to be eyeshadow palette related, because it's eyeshadow palette extravaganza here on my YouTube channel for the entire month and also over on my blog. So lots of content coming your way with an extra video on Saturday. So I hope you're as excited for it as I am. I hope you are. I certainly am. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this one today. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make 3 new videos a week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye!